Okay, welcome to Ace Martial Arts Interviews. My name is Daewoud. I'm the founder of Ace Martial Arts. This interview is with Mike Chrysanthou. Mike has been training with me for over 10 years and is currently a brown belt in the freestyle martial arts system that we run, aiming for his black belt hopefully at the end of 2020. It was a nice little chat with Mike with a few surprises. Please enjoy. Michael Chrysanthou, born in 19... When were you born, Michael?
1990.
Are you a 90s baby?
Just made it.
That,
Just made it by 10 days.
wow, 90s baby. Wow, very cute, Michael, very cute. So, look, when did you start becoming interested in martial arts? Like, if you were born in the 90s, when did you start? What age were you?
And for the earliest I can remember would probably be 2 or 3.
Are you
So,
kidding me? You
no
remember
joke.
when you were 2 or 3?
Yeah, I was
And
watching Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee movies at 2 or 3 and trying to copy the moves in the lounge room.
did your parents let you watch Bruce Lee movies? Because those Bruce Lee movies were rated R. And it was, yeah.
Yeah, anything that had fighting in it. So it moved from Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee to Power Rangers, and I was obsessed with Power Rangers from the age of maybe, what would it be, 3 or 4 before I even started school. And I was always carried around a Power Ranger with me because, like, I went to preschool. Everything was about Power Rangers and fighting and martial arts. It's really, yeah, from a really young age.
I was nearly inspired by your story when you said Bruce Lee, then you said Power Rangers, and it's thrown this whole interview out completely. I've never watched an episode of Power Rangers. How many are there? 3 of them? They all come in colors or flavors. What do they
I don't
do?
know. There was 5 of them. I think what happened was my parents probably realized, wait a second, we can't let him watch Bruce Lee. So, so we've got to give him another option.
All right, Power Rangers. Was Van Damme a Power Ranger or he was a street fighter? I can't remember.
Street Fighter. It was a Street
Oh,
Fighter.
shit. Okay, well, anyone watching this, if you do watch Power Rangers, or you did watch Power Rangers, please let me know because I'm not going to let you train at Ace Martial Arts ever again. So it was actually film that got you into martial arts, like many
Yeah,
people.
yeah, it would be, yeah,
Oh,
100%.
fantastic! And then what happened from 3? Because you remember being 3.
Probably as I went to one of the, like, playing games growing up was always wanted to muck around, fight, and then went to primary school, and
Yeah.
then again just continue on from there. Jackie Chan. Started watching. My cousin got me into boxing, so I started watching
All
boxers
right.
and movies about boxers, and then 7 years old got put into karate. I convinced my parents to let me go to
Oh, I
karate.
didn't know
About,
that. So you actually tried karate.
yeah, I did it for 2 years
Where
from
was
7
that
to
at?
9. It was at Brighton Public School in the hall. It used
Oh,
to be
wow.
called Gokan Ryu.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Not Go
and
Kangaroo or Go GKR karate, you mean?
yeah, JKR. That's the one.
That's
JKR
one. That was
Ryu.
one of the first karates I did.
There you go.
Oh, cute.
And then essentially what happened was I joined the tournament once, and then at like 9 years old, and then we did an in-house tournament with like all these other schools, and I was an orange belt or a yellow belt. It was like 2 belts, and I versed a 12-year-old who was like 3 belts above me,
Yeah.
and I beat them. And ever since that day, I was like, well, this is bullshit. So I decided to stop.
So was it point scoring or full
It was point
sparring?
it was point scoring. So you couldn't even touch. You had to like flick and scream. And if you did a ki, you get a point.
And you wore a full white outfit, the old white.
full,
Yeah.
full white outfit
Oh,
with a
wow.
little belt.
All right. So you
There was,
stopped. You stopped with the Go Kangaroo karate. Then what happened?
and then um, wasn't allowed to do any. So I wanted to go into like proper fighting, sort of like boxing or kickboxing.
Yeah.
And my parents just wouldn't let me. So it was about a 5 year.
Typical ethnic parent.
Yeah,
No, you'll study. That's it.
exactly right. And then so pretty much
Be
played
be a
soccer from
doc.
that
Be a
age.
doctor. Be a doctor or engineer.
So I started. So I continued playing soccer and tennis for the next 10 years or 9 years,
Okay. So
and
that was
then
there was a bit of a break. Yep.
yeah, there was a bit of a break, and obviously between the ages of about 10 years old to about 16, I started putting on a lot of weight, so I got
Yeah.
pretty big, And then 16 years old, 15 years old, my cousin just started, because he was a boxer, started teaching. So started training me how to box.
Yeah.
Did that for about 6 months with him. That's that was actually pretty good. I enjoyed training with him. And then from there, a good friend of mine got me into weightlifting. So I started going to the gym and doing bodybuilding style training at like 16 years old. When fitness first at Rockdale first opened, convinced my mum to get me a membership.
Before the shooting started?
Before the shooting started.
Yeah.
And then got bored of that. And then I remember one day I was in an outing with my mum in the city for helping her for work for my dad. And we walked past it wasn't Body Punch, it was called Boxing Works. Boxing gym, and mixed martial arts gym up in Castlereagh Street, when they had this such an old school, still had carpet as the flooring for the boxing gym. And then that was my first boxing, membership.
So you went to the city?
Yeah, so I used to come home from school, have something to eat, get straight in the train, go to the city 5 days a week. And then on a Saturday morning at like 7:30, I used to go do sparring in the city as well. I used to catch the train to the city.
Oh, wow. Far out. And who was running that class?
So at that time, the boxing class was Thomas Bisokai. He was Pan Pacific kickboxing champion. And then the kickboxing was, I can't remember his first name, but his surname was Spooner. He did the kickboxing class, and then Peter Graham came along and he started running the kickboxing class as well. So I did a bit of training under Peter Graham. Yeah.
So for those that don't know, Peter Graham he's one of Australia's most famous kickboxers. He fought in the 90s and 2000s, and he was well known for, what was that kick he was well known for? The Rolling Thunder. The Rolling Thunder. So make sure when you finish watching this, look up Peter Graham and the Rolling Thunder kick. And he knocked out one of the best kickboxers of all time with it, Badr Hari, who they nicknamed the scariest man on the planet, like Mike Tyson, but in kickboxing. It was fantastic. So look that up, the Rolling Thunder. And when we get back to training, let's see if anyone can pull it off.
And actually, I would probably have to say Peter Graham was probably one that sort of sent me towards the style that I do now, where I do a lot of head movement and evading. So I remember him saying to me, he goes, "You see my face? There's no cuts. Do you see how I can talk? I can still talk normally." So he goes, "You know why? Because I try not to get hit as much as possible."
Did he say that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what he said to me. So he goes, "When you're in the ring, just be mindful, move your head, don't get hit, and then you'll last a long time in this game."
And he's a really nice guy, and he looks big and scary from a distance. But I remember meeting him a few times. He was very nice. You wouldn't really, when you meet him and you hear him speak, it sort of doesn't go with. What's that?
He's very soft-spoken.
Yeah. It doesn't sort of link to his persona, what you see in the ring, which is good.
And then from there, from boxing work, so what happened was I ended up opening a new gym in, what's it called? Where was the new gym? Pelican Street near Oxford Street. I can't remember the area.
You stayed in the city?
No, so this is what happened. They were transitioning to the new gym. So at that same time, Van Gel, who was training with you, contacted me and goes, "Hey man, I'm training in this new gym. Why don't you check it out?"
Hi Van Gel, if you're watching.
So what I did was, at that time, I didn't want to just stop my membership. So what I would do, before I completely signed out, I would train 4 days at Boxing Works. But what I'll do on a Tuesday and Thursday when Dragon Fist was on, I'll train at Boxing Works, catch the train home, then drive to Sutherland and do the freestyle class. The freestyle class at 7:30 at night.
So you were seeing someone else at the same time?
Yeah, so I'd go from the city, then I'd go from the city to Sutherland in the same night.
So you found the freestyle class through Van Gel, correct?
Yeah, Van Gel, yeah. And then he invited me to come start. He asked if I want to start doing Saturday privates with you guys, and then the rest is essentially history, man. That's
right. Now, what was your first impressions of the way the freestyle class went compared to what you were doing? Do you remember your first class or your first session?
Yeah, I don't remember my first session, but I do remember going in. So I remember back in boxing works. So the boxing was really good. The boxing was run similar to the way we run the kickboxing, which
Yeah.
is technique, pads, bit of sparring, but there was concepts for weeks on end. So it
Mhm.
wasn't like just random stuff. It'll be like these 6 weeks is just going to be footwork. And
Yeah.
the next 6 weeks is going to be head movement.
Oh,
We
cool.
would,
Cool.
we would build on it like that.
Yeah.
But the kickboxing was like, there was so many people. It was like 40 people in the class. So
Oh,
the
right. It was
it was
very,
like, yeah, two trainers in the middle of a ring calling out combos, and that was it.
okay. So the boxing was more, the boxing you were doing was more realistic to the sweet science of boxing.
Yeah,
The
exactly right.
the
Yeah,
kickboxing was just a big workout, effectively. Just yeah, okay.
yeah, pretty much. And then I saw that you guys were running the kickboxing and the boxing the same way I was learning my boxing, and I wanted to
Oh,
like
okay.
upskill. So I was like, I'm loving this, and then got to know the guys, and the guys that were training were similar age because where I was training, I was essentially training with 30-plus-year-olds, all these corporates, and I was like a 17-year-old kid with a whole bunch of corporates.
And then you came to the freestyle, and you had like 6 of these guys from a heavy metal band called Thrash. You had
Oh Jesus!
Ranger, you had Ben the Butcher, you had Scotty Dent, you had who else? We had Blinky. These guys are all from a band. Then you had this random guy who called himself the Ninja called Stan, and you had
Dan
another
came,
guy. He came later. Then you had
yeah,
Bruce, then
Bruce.
Cashman.
You had that big Dan guy who was the crazy commando.
Oh,
Dan,
Dan,
wasn't it Dan? He
Dan,
was
yeah.
scary.
Remember that day?
But
Someone asked him, "How many guys have you killed?" And he stopped and looked at them all, and he said, "I can't remember," or "too many," or just walked
yeah,
out. And
too
everyone,
many.
too many. It was like everyone just went. Yeah, I think he was the only mature one in the class, and Bruce was in the class, but Bruce isn't mature.
No,
All right, so
no.
yeah, so it was a big contrast between the two places, and
Yeah,
location-wise, and then eventually you stopped dropping the sessions. You started dropping the sessions in the
yeah. Then I stopped. Yeah, I completely stopped in the city, and then I just continued with the freestyle. And then I did there was freestyle twice a week, and the private training with you and the boys once a week. And I
yeah, it was,
think then I started doing a couple of those. I was a couple of the other classes as well. I think I started doing just some of the sparring classes and that.
yeah. I remember
And then
you jumping in a few.
yeah,
So what do you love about the combat arts and the martial arts the most? Like you've been doing it for a long time now. What is it? What's the one thing for you? You just say one thing. What do you love about it the most?
it's hard to explain. Like what I would say is when I'm there, it feels like this is what I'm meant to be doing. If that makes any sense, it's the one place where I have my absolute focus, and it feels like that's what challenges me the most. And there's always something new to learn. And there's also I tend to find the people that you meet through martial arts, they're good people. They're pretty cool to hang out with, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So
Mm.
the martial arts world, you don't it separates the bullshitters with the real people, if you know what
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. That didn't give me one answer, but it's okay. It was a good answer though. Um, and I think you're entirely right. It's the fact that you never stop learning, right?
Yeah,
And it's the people around you. It's not a team sport, but it's a team environment. And how much
100%.
fun have you had from the day you started, whether it was in the city, training with us? It's about the people, and I think that's why most of us are in it. Learn new things, people, and for me, it was confidence. So, and I'm assuming that would have helped you a lot going to
100%.
school.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there was obviously some instances when I was overweight as growing up where I felt insecure or
Yeah,
felt like, well, I couldn't protect myself if I really wanted to. So
yeah,
doing that martial arts built that confidence, built, that self esteem, I would have to say. And just,
yeah.
yeah.
And going from there, what's your favorite part of the training? Do you like the sparring, the bag work, the pad work, the fitness? What is it? So when I say we're doing so and so, what's the thing that you go, oh yes, this is right? Could it be the weaponry you're doing now? What is it now? What is it that gets you excited when you hear it?
Um, I, Probably all of it, man, to be honest. Like, even if you just tell me to do some mural work, I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, you looked pretty happy the other night. We had odd numbers and I made you work the bag. You were in your zone. It was good to see.
Yeah, so probably the best part for me would be when I'm pushed. So even if it's fitness or sparring, I thrive on that point where I feel
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Oh,
If I
very
feel
good.
uncomfortable, then I want to keep going.
That's good to know. Very good. Okay, so let me go into. So you went from watching Power Rangers
Yeah,
to going to the city, which you did karate, then you went to the
yeah.
city, which was a massive effort, and you're very lucky you had parents that allowed you to do that. I wasn't allowed to go across the road, let alone get on a train. Um, so then you found us, trained at the Freestyle Class, and for years. And what was it that made you decide that you wanted to start coaching?
um, I would have to say, I don't know. I just there's sharing something that you love to do yourself. I don't know. There's something about teaching. There's this uh, sense of fulfillment when you see someone who might remind you of yourself at a young age, or someone who's struggling through something, and you help them get through that point
Mm-hmm.
with something that you grew up loving, like martial arts. So whether it's a troubled teen, or someone who's overweight, or someone who's just struggles to be emotionally, or whatever it may be, and you knowing that martial arts helped you get through some of the hard points in your life, and to be able to share that with them and see them improve, it's just a feeling of fulfillment.
And do you remember the first time you asked me
Of
that you
course I
want?
do.
Do you want to share that?
100%.
Do you want to share that with everyone?
Definitely.
I don't mind. Make sure you
Yeah. So,
phrase it properly.
oh. So essentially, I remember the day. It was,
Where were
I
we?
remember in the gym. 100%. I think it was
No,
after.
no, we weren't
Was
at the
it?
gym. Come on, Michael.
Were we on the phone?
We're at ACE 1.0. No, 0.5. Sorry, my backyard.
We're at the backyard.
Yes,
Yeah, because you were still coaching out of Double Dragon at that time as well, weren't you?
as well. Yeah, but we did the backyard stuff. Anyway, go on.
Yeah. So essentially, you pretty much said to like I asked you, I go, hey, what do I need to do to start coaching? And he goes, you're really interested? I'm going, yeah, of course. He goes, look, man, you got all the skills, but you need to look the part, man. So he goes, if you prove to me that you lose some weight, I'll get you some coaching gigs. And you know what? I'm grateful for that day, because that was a catalyst for me to lose weight, and then brought me to where I am right now. So I
And
take
I was very polite about it.
Yeah, definitely. And I
Yeah, good.
honestly did not get offended that day at all. I was like, "Oh, all right, that's what I need to do. That's what I'm going to do."
And share with everyone how much weight you've lost since that day.
So at that time, I would have been about 102 kilograms. And now I'm weighing around 83, 84. So about 20 kilograms of weight since then. And plus, I would have to say even more fat, because back then I wasn't carrying much muscle.
Yeah,
Not that I'm
wow.
carrying much now, but definitely, definitely different shape now.
And you were quite young still. How did you do that? Or you just, yeah. How did you
What,
do
the
it?
weight loss?
Yeah, over time.
Uh, so essentially, I just started reading into it a bit, started getting advice from people who knew what they were talking about, and pretty much just trained. And then took out, the first step I probably did was take out all soft drinks. So
Right.
got rid
Oh,
of any
wow. So
sugary drinks.
you were getting into the soft drinks, were you?
Yeah, so I'll probably have a can every couple of days, or a day, one a day, and
Yeah.
then completely cut that out. The next thing I did was cut out all sugar from my coffee.
Yeah.
So the first thing I tried to do was take out calories that I was drinking.
Yeah. But okay. Well, that was, yeah.
Yeah,
That alone.
yeah. That alone dropped me about 5, 6 kilos pretty quickly
So,
in a few months.
and did you see it happen quickly, or was it challenging? Did you struggle initially? Some people,
Um,
you were
look,
training a fair bit, so that would have helped a lot too.
yeah, I was training a fair bit, so that definitely helped. I didn't lose it too quickly, I would say. It probably took me a good year to keep it off, like to
Yeah.
lose it, then keep it off, maybe even
Yeah.
longer. Um, I would, from there, what would have happened was, one of the big problems I had was staying out late, and then while I was out late eating at 1 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock at night, and
Yeah.
only things open at that time was KFC, McDonald's, right? So I just stopped. I kind of just stopped eating out. I'll just stay hungry, then just go home, wake up in the morning, and then have. But I distinctly remember there was a period where I was eating so well. It's just I wasn't at that time. I didn't understand it as well as I did now. So I was eating very strict. So I was eating meat, my vegetables, some rice, kept away from breads, anything that was easy for me to overconsume.
Yeah.
But I remember distinctly one weekend where after eating so healthy, I spent a few days out with the friends and I was drinking, and I just remembered how bad I felt from that weekend, just binging on junk food. And I was like, shit, this is what I've been doing to myself for the last 10 years. So it was just a quick reminder, like, what you're doing is the correct thing. So
yeah. Oh, cool. And you had a bit of a career change throughout this. So I know you're working as a jeweler for a long time when I met you, and something tweaked. And what ended up happening from there?
So I was sitting there in my dad's jewelry shop on a chair, sitting down all day. Essentially, well, the first catalyst was you giving me some personal training gigs, so letting me teach martial arts.
Oh, so they gave you the introduction to coaching.
They gave me the introduction. Yep. And then from there, you started working. You started your second business, which was training combat and exercise. And I got to meet Luke Delpio, and he started explaining to me what sort of thing he does and what options are out there for, for people that want to spend their career teaching or getting into the health world. And then I looked into it a bit more, and about that same time, I met who my current fiance is, Georgia. So Georgia, along with you and Luke together, pretty much said to me, like, well, what are you doing sitting at that shop? Why don't you just try out, get into uni? So I tried to get into uni, mature age, had to travel. So I had to do like a quick 3-month course.
You haven't mentioned to anyone what you're studying. Like this could be becoming a vet or something.
So started studying. I just assumed everyone knew I was an exercise physiologist. That's all. So I started. So I just started studying exercise physiology, which is it's essentially a profession where you prescribe exercise to people who suffer from a chronic health condition, whether it be an injury or something as serious as cancer or heart disease.
Wow. And that was it?
That was it. Went to uni. While I was at uni, don't get me wrong, I wasn't the biggest fan of university, but I definitely loved what I was learning. And I was lucky enough to be surrounded by people who were in the industry who helped me out and got me to really feel what it is going to be like when I finish. So yeah, I was pretty lucky that I had essentially a mini coaching business while I was at university. So when I did come out, I could just go straight into working.
Right. So what type of exercise physiology do you specialize in?
So I would say it's termed musculoskeletal injuries. So essentially muscle and bone injuries. And then I would say I also specialize in autism. So I've got a few people that I work with that specifically kids where I use martial arts as a mode to help them, I guess, rewire the brain so they can reduce their anxiety and improve their function.
Yeah.
And I also do certain and then I also get a lot of clients who have different disorders, from heart disease, lung disease, diabetes, stroke. But I would definitely say my forte would be injuries and the autism, people on the spectrum.
Fantastic. That's well done, Mike. Well, so you're pretty busy. You run your own exercise physiology business with your fiance, and your business is called
Wellness Within Consulting.
Wellness Within Consulting. You're also a contractor at Australian Combat and Exercise and a presenter at our courses, our boxing and kickboxing course. And you're also a coach at Ace Martial Arts and you conduct private training, and you run the boxing class on Monday nights. Before we wrap it up, Michael, Coach Mike, Magic Mike, you're known under by a few things. Who is
Marshmallow.
Marshmallow? Who's your favorite boxer, and who was you, or ever? Who is it now, present, past, whatever?
Favorite ever, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yes, and why?
I just really liked his get in your face sort of style that he had, and he challenged everyone. He fought anyone in any division that he could get to, so he never backed down.
Okay, and
current favorite, Lomachenko.
Yeah, beautiful boxer, fantastic. Favorite kickboxer?
Oh, that's a hard one. Probably have to say Nathan Corbett.
Oh yeah, good. I watched a clip of him today getting knocked out by Tyrone Spong. But yeah, he was a fantastic. His style was something that similar to how we train. So very good. Yeah, great choice there. And MMA, mixed martial arts. Ever now, whatever, just one.
And Anderson Silva.
Okay, yeah, I think that'll be a very common answer. All right, and punching or kicking?
Both.
Or punching or kicking? Punching. Well done, Mike. Well, thank you for this last minute little chat, but I think it's good now. We're doing this during isolation. If you watch this in a year, this is during the coronavirus outbreak in Australia. And thanks for your time. And look, you probably get about 6 viewers on this, but look, for those 6 viewers, thank you for watching. Feel free to share it on your network as well. We'll see you at training when we reopen.
Hopefully that's soon.
All right, mate. Thanks, Michael.
Thanks, Ed.